Hello, everybody, and welcome. My name is Laura Tamblin Watts. I'm the CEO of CanAge, Canada's National Seniors Advocacy Organization. We're kicking off our town hall today with our Minister, Filomena Tassi, and I'm going to turn to Dr. Alex Michailidis to open us up today. Alex, over to you.
Great. Thank you very much, Laura. Welcome, everyone. My name is Alex Michailidis, AgeWell's Scientific Director and CEO. AgeWell is Canada's technology and aging network focused on improving the lives of older adults and their caregivers today and in the future. I am very pleased to welcome the Honourable Filomena Tassi, Minister of Labour and Member of Parliament for the riding of Hamilton West, Ancaster and Dundas. Ms. Tassi was elected in 2015 and also served as Canada's first Liberal Minister of Seniors. I also want to welcome Laura Tamblin Watts, CEO of CanAge, Canada's Seniors Advocacy Organization, which is hosting these important conversations today. Welcome both to this fireside chat today, where we will discuss the major issues facing older voters and caregivers during this year's election. A reminder to our viewers that this session is being recorded and will be shared widely with CanAge's national network of members, their many partners and stakeholders in the aging sector. Over to you, Laura.
Thanks very much, Alex. And Minister Tassi, we've known each other a long time, and it's wonderful to see you again today. I know how passionate you are about seniors. As the former Minister for Seniors, this has been an area that you've dedicated your time and attention to, and I certainly know how busy you are on the campaign trail. So thank you again. This is an opportunity for us to ask a few questions about what your government maybe has done a little bit, but really looking forward what's going to be. So we're going to kick it off today. And I'm just going to start with the big open question. You know, we know that the federal government has been prioritizing funding for the well-being of seniors. And that's something that this government has talked a lot about, particularly for long-term care and home care as well. You know, CanAge has proposed a seniors care transfer. Tell us a little bit about how your government is thinking about the issues of seniors care, and what are some of the initiatives that you're suggesting that we think about if your party forms the next government as it did in the past.
Well, thanks, Laura. Listen, thank you for the invite to be with you here today. Really an honor and a pleasure. I'm joining you from the ambitious city of Hamilton, my hometown, where I represent my constituents, which is situated on the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee and Anishinaabe peoples. And Laura, I want to thank you and all those attending today and listening for your advocacy. You're absolutely right. Seniors issues extremely important to me. So happy to have an opportunity to chat a little bit about, you know, what our government has done, what we're going to continue to do. I have to say, Minister Deb Schultz has been doing a great job, and together with the Minister of Health, Patty Hajdu. So thank you for this opportunity today. So the first thing that I would like to point out is, and you know, we've heard this over and over again, and I think Canadians are very aware that inequities were definitely made brought to bear in this COVID-19 pandemic. It's shone the light on so many inequities, and the long-term care piece was a very important piece that that all Canadians, I think, stepped up and said, listen, we have to do more. So the first piece I want to recognize or acknowledge is that, of course, the care is provided under the jurisdiction of the province, but we want to be there every step of the way. And through COVID-19, that's what we've done. You'll notice in a number of the initiatives that we have implemented, we've sort of gone across the jurisdictional boundary. In fact, 8 out of every $10 of COVID relief money has come from the federal government, because we recognize this is a really unique situation and we need to step up to ensure that all Canadians are kept safe. On the long-term care piece, we are providing $3 billion over 5 years to support provinces and territories in ensuring that long-term care standards are applied. And this is in addition to the $1 billion that we provided for funding to help seniors in long-term care. Now, in terms of the money that was given, there was the Safe Restart Agreement, which was a $19 billion commitment. And of that, $740 million was earmarked for long-term care facilities. And so these are some of the measures. And I think really what has been revealed is the standards issue. And this is something that our government is taking very seriously. As we move forward, we are committing to developing a safe long-term care act. We know that these standards have to be met. The last thing we want is seniors in care not getting the care that they need. And I think that part, we have to also be very aware of the workers. And now, especially me with the labor portfolio, knowing the importance of supporting workers. So another commitment moving forward is to train up to 50,000 personal support workers and to raise their wages. We saw in this pandemic that personal support workers were running to different long-term care facilities and struggling to make ends meet. So the hiring and the training of these workers, it'll be the province, of course, that hires with a guaranteed income of minimum income or wages of $25 an hour. During the pandemic, we knew that there were a lot of people that were working on the front lines that were really taking risks to keep Canadians safe. And it was for that reason that the federal government transferred to the provinces and territories $3 billion for wage top-ups for those low-income earners and $2 billion in order for provinces and territories to protect workers and purchase PPE. And then finally, of course, we knew that there needed to be more staff, more teams in long-term care facilities. So we deployed some of our Canadian Armed Forces into over 50 long-term care facilities in Quebec and Ontario. So I think, in short, it's sort of a long-winded answer, but I think one that really needs attention, because what I want to leave you with is to know that this is an area that definitely the light has been shone. We know that there's work to do. We're committing to do that work in working with the provinces and territories, with both the establishment of the act, the training of workers, and the commitment to the $25 guaranteed an hourly wage.
Well, Minister, as we often say, the type of workers and the type of the conditions of work are also the conditions of care. And that is a critical component, that we have not just more care staff, but staff that themselves are not going to be precariously hired. And we saw again that important piece along the care continuum. You've spoken passionately about the needs to support aging at home as well. This has been an area I know that you've worked a lot on in your riding, and as former minister, you were talking a lot about things like naturally occurring retirement communities and aging at home. And we know that the importance of home care is real. Your government has made some promises to support innovation in home care. I think $90 million has been put aside to help to support that. Could you speak a little bit to your government's thoughts about the importance of aging at home and some of the ways that you want to support that?
Yeah, it's an excellent question, Laura. When I was Minister of Seniors, I got the opportunity to travel across the provinces and to take a look at some of the creative measures and supports that were put in place. I often speak about my own mom, and she really wanted to stay home. And so we wanted to do everything we possibly could to support her, because if seniors want to age in place, we absolutely want to provide the supports so that they can age where they are most comfortable. So, Laura, you and I had previous conversations about the $6 billion in home care and palliative care that this government invested. And that's exactly what that was about. It was about ensuring that seniors that wanted to age in place were going to get the supports. That money, of course, was transferred to the provinces and territories, and it was up to them to determine how that money was provided. But it was very clear in the agreements that it was used for those two specific purposes. The $5 billion in mental health, not specifically for seniors, but seniors had access to that, really important, so that seniors have the mental health support that they need. The $29.8 million to advance our government's palliative care strategy is something now in addition. I trust that the dementia strategy is going to come up as well. Investments there, I may expand upon that later. But another important piece in this one is if seniors are aging in place, we want to make sure that they have the medical support they need. So we know that, having access to doctors is critical, especially if you're at home. You want to have a doctor that you can reach out to if you're experiencing symptoms to make sure that you're okay. So our government is committing to hiring 7,500 doctors and nurses in order to ensure that Canadians do have a family doctor or a primary care team, so that they can get the support that they need. And then, also the virtual care, which this is, I know it's not the same, but for those times where you don't need to have an in-person visit, virtual care for seniors is really good. And we have run pilots, and I've heard some amazing stories where a lot of nurses that were connecting with the seniors, after the program was over, they wanted to continue to have those conversations with the nurses because they really felt good and supported, and that their care was taken very seriously and had someone that actually cared as they were on the journey in their healing. So those are some of the things as we move forward that, we are aware of. We've seen the benefits of this support, and of course, I know Minister Schultz is very supportive of this.
Minister, I know that you are passionate as well and have been working tirelessly on behalf of people who are workers in Canada, and that economic security is near and dear to your heart. You've spoken as well about the importance of pensions to you and economic security of workers who've been putting their money away into the hands of those pension funds. And we've certainly seen terrible incidents like Sears and Nortel and others that have hit close to home in Hamilton as well. That's been a piece that has really made people very precarious. In addition, we know that we are living longer, which is great news, but it does mean that we need to stretch both the government programs a little bit farther than they used to. And you've certainly made some initiatives in your government around things like CPP and GIS and OAS. Could you just speak a little bit about your thoughts about pension security, whether it be private pension security or whether it's some of the initiatives that your government has put forward for, the rest of us who may not have a pension but are really relying on that public piece?
Yes. So listen, income security really important for seniors. And now that we are living longer, we recognize that there may not be the supports in the original plan because life expectancy now has extended. And so we want to be there for seniors in this regard. You will recall, Laura, one of the first things we did was to move back the age of eligibility. It was moved up to 67. We've moved it back to 65, and that's for receipt of OAS and GIS. What that means is that seniors that were 65 to 67 would not have been eligible until they turned 67. So during their 65 and 66th year, we rolled that back. We wanted seniors to get the OAS and the GIS as soon as they turned 65. So the money would go in their pockets then. We increased the guaranteed income supplement. So that's, of course, the supplement for the seniors that have a lower income. And this had a positive impact on 900,000 seniors. I believe the amount was an increase of $947 a year. I think I remember that number. We are going to continue to increase OAS by 10% for 75 years of age and older. And again, this increase for the OAS is 75 and older because this is directed specifically at the extended aging. We know that we're living longer, so we want to provide that extra protection for seniors that are living longer, so a 10% increase. We are committing to a GIS increase of $500 for single seniors and $750 for couples, and this will start at the age of 65. Again, this is a support that's received by very low income earning seniors, and so we want to ensure that they are getting supports in order to pay the rent and put food on the table. We have increased the Cpp Max by nearly 50%. This is more long-term, so retirees of the future are going to have more CPP, more money in their pockets in terms of income security. But we thought it was important to do now as we look ahead, because it's not only planning for the current, it's of course planning for when our children become seniors. So we did do that. We during COVID-19 have have given a couple of one-time payments for seniors because we know that COVID has presented challenges in terms of transportation and other issues. So we wanted to support seniors during that time. We've doubled the home accessibility tax credit. We're launching affordable high-speed internet plans we're looking at $20 a month for seniors. This one I really like, and it's something that I've spoken to you about, Laura, before, is we are committing to introduce a 1-800 line for seniors. And this, I think, is so important because there are so many programs and so many initiatives. We want seniors to be aware of what programs are available to them. And that's what this 1-800 number is going to do. It's going to be exclusively for seniors to help them navigate the benefits in the programs so they can be aware and receive the benefits that they are entitled to. The last three things I'll mention is on pharmacare. We have signed a first agreement with PEI for National Pharmacare. We will continue to move forward on that. We are working on a disability inclusion action plan. This is going to look at new benefits, employment strategies, and also navigating benefits. And then I do want to talk about the pension protection specifically in situations like Sears and Stelco. So our government ran consultations on this. We had over 40,000 Canadians and stakeholders who have gave input. And we did implement measures that put us in a better place than we are today. So more open and transparency. The process is more open and transparent. People get the standing in terms of providing information. The thing that I am most proud of is that we have actually given judges the right to set aside executive bonuses when the pensioners are suffering. And that's something we heard loud and clear. I will end with this on this one, Laura. There is more work to do here, but we have to be very careful of the unintended consequences. So I know for those that have heard me speak before, I'm sorry to repeat myself, but super priority has some unintended consequences. Let me just say this, at the end of the day, we don't want pensioners worse off. We have to ensure whatever measure we implement, that it's surely going to put pensioners in a better position. And that's the pathway forward. I have had a number of conversations with Minister Schultz about this, and we do know there's more work to do, but we want to ensure that seniors are receiving the pensions that they have worked so hard to achieve.
Well, and I can hear the passion in your voice because this is something that I know that you can't live in the city and be raised in Steel Town without actually knowing exactly that those deferred wages of hardworking Canadians are what they put forward. And I hear you when you say that your government is committed to thinking about this and doing more. I'm going to pick up on that thread a little bit about the 1-800 number, because one of the pieces you and I have talked a lot about before is elder abuse. And I know that you had a chance when you were Minister for Seniors to go across the country and really dig into the issue of elder abuse and prevalence. So I know as well that there's been some really interesting studies. We were able to give testimony on elder abuse and neglect. And one of our key partners, the Canadian Network for the Prevention of Elder Abuse, has submitted this question. It says, from the scandal of senior neglect and abandonment in long-term care homes to the ever-increasing reports of elder abuse in the community, older Canadians have been dramatically affected and victimized during the pandemic. What steps do you and your government plan to take to strengthen prevention and foster a national response to elder abuse and neglect?
So, this is something that is extremely important. And I have heard some, gut-wrenching, heart-wrenching stories of seniors that have saved all their lives and then become subject to abuse on the financial side. And then also, of course, the proper health care. So we did launch a consultation on the federal definition of senior abuse to support a more informed awareness and prevention of activities, data collection, as well as a program and service delivery. So we have done that. We are investing $50 million to deliver interventions that promote safe relationships and prevent family violence. This, of course, is on the safety piece, including elder abuse. The New Horizons for Seniors program, you know, Laura, you're not going to have an interview with me without having me talk about that.
It's the backbone of the country on these issues. It's an important one. It really gets that money into local communities. So I'm with you on that.
It really does, and supports the great work that organizations are doing across the country. And one of the eligibility requirements is actually combating elder abuse. So I have been to communities where organizations have invited, for example, the police in to give talks to seniors so that they can hear about the latest scams. And I can tell you, some of these scams, like, it is easy to get scammed. And I know that seniors sometimes feel bad when they have been taken advantage of, but these scammers are really, really good. So there shouldn't be any guilt in it, even though there is, because that's just human nature. That's how we are. But that's why it's really important that this information gets out there, that seniors have the opportunity to become educated, to be informed, to learn about the latest and greatest scams. And that's part of the New Horizons for Seniors program, which we committed an additional $20 million to. That's one of the areas where these investments have been helping seniors across the country. We also created the Canadian Centre for Cybersecurity to provide trusted advice, and the RCMP National Cybersecurity Coordination Unit to bolster investigations. In addition, $29.5 million for digital literacy, which is going to help seniors to navigate, use computers, be computer savvy, so that they can sort of, you know, see the things. I mean, I have my son say to me, "Mom, when that shows up on the computer, that you do not do that. That's an indication of," and I don't know any of this. So I think that this educational component, extremely, extremely important. But this is an area where, you know, very sad. And this is why we are making the investments that we are making.
Minister, it's so good to hear you say that, because we know that particularly during the pandemic, there has been a blossoming of the use of technology by older adults. And Alex introduced AgeWell, which I know you know very well, is one of Canada's networks of centers of excellence in aging and technology. And they're really looking to make sure that we are able to invest. And we heard some of the great commitments that you're making about technology and digital literacy. And I know that you have been very aware of the importance of social connections and also in creating new business. And we wanted to ask, you know, the age tech sector is not just going to be important for us as we age to keep connected and to keep healthy and well, but also a great opportunity to support workers and business development. And I guess I'm curious, does your government think that investing in Canadian business to support our aging population is a good idea? Is that a thing that we should be looking forward to in our investments?
I think absolutely. I mean, you know, when you look at the talent, the expertise, the experience that seniors offer, we have often talked about, you know, the connections and having seniors mentor young people who are, for example, venturing into new businesses. That relationship is so vitally important. The New Horizons for Seniors program does provide some of that, the mentorship component, and I've seen some excellent programs across the country where seniors and youth are getting together. And the entrepreneurial piece is really, really important, because if we have the expertise there, we don't want young people making mistakes that, but for the advice and the mentorship, they would not make. So absolutely, that is something where we see great value. I also think, you know, encouraging seniors, if they wish to work, not offering disincentives for them to remain in the workforce, because we know that the experience and expertise that they bring to the workforce in their various places of work is just so valuable to businesses. And, you know, when you bring in a new employee, there's training, there's upskilling, and we are making significant investments in those areas. But I think that we have to be very aware of the experience that seniors offer and make it, incentivize them to continue to work, demonstrate the value of their input and experience, and absolutely set up the connections so that businesses can gain by the experience of seniors.
You flagged earlier about the National Dementia Strategy. I know that this is an area of great interest for you, and I was happy to be up there with Minister Hadju cutting the ribbon and starting off that launch of the National Dementia Strategy. One of the criticisms we have is that it's really not fully funded. We've only had the first start to funding about National Dementia Strategy. Can you speak a little bit about, is your party going to be addressing dementia and dementia investments? That question is submitted to us from the Alzheimer's Society of Ontario.
Okay, so listen, I speak about my personal experience sitting around tables and hearing from caregivers of those whose partners have dementia or whose parents or siblings. And we know that this is a really, really important area. We have invested, of course, the $50 million in the National Dementia Strategy. I'm really happy to see the work that has been done in the development of this strategy. We also, of course, are investing in research because we think that that is important as we move forward. And I think when you look at investments like even the longitudinal study on aging and the significance, or CABI, and the work that they are doing, all these investments are really, really important because they're going to help us better understand how to support the health of seniors and what investments are needed so that they can age in a safe, secure way and provide the supports needed. And I do want to take a moment to thank all the caregivers who I know are, supporting. It's really hard. It's really difficult. And we want to provide you not only with the supports, but with the relief that you need, because the person that you are caring for, your loved one that has dementia, wants you to be the person that is there by their side. And so again, an area that I think that there's more work to do, but really happy about the commitment to the strategy and the further investments in research.
And I'll encourage people to have a look, as well as the commitments that your government has made to increase the caregiver tax benefits and make it easier for caregivers to do. Thank you so much, Minister. I know your time has been very pressed. Just to wrap up, I'm going to invite the Executive Director of Help Age Canada, Gregor Sneddon, and one of our dear friends and colleagues to come to the stage and help us close our session today. Over to you, Gregor.
Well, thank you very much, Laura, and Minister Tassi for this opportunity, for a great conversation, and Minister Tassi, to hear your passion about the issues facing seniors in Canada. It's been a pleasure, and thank you also, Laura, for facilitating this event, and all of your team at CanAge. This is such an amazing opportunity for us to hear and to think about the issues that are facing us. Help Age Canada, we work in mission, and we work in partnership with others to improve and maintain the quality of life of older people in Canada and around the world. In Canada, we really focus on addressing isolation and loneliness among seniors in the digital literacy space, especially providing access to equipment, devices, and digital literacy for low-income seniors. We're age-friendly transportation, as well as mobility and communications devices and innovative programming for seniors, including a really interesting program we're launching right now in Nunavut, an intergenerational digital literacy program, which we're really, really excited about. So thank you very much to everybody. And I'd just like to encourage everybody who's watching to get out there and vote. Laura and CanAge prepare these events and give us this opportunity to hear, but really it's up to us to act. So I leave you with that. Get out there and vote. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. And I'll just pick up by saying Monday is coming soon. We know, Minister, that your calendar is extremely charged, and we're deeply grateful about your commitment to issues of older people as well as issues of workers. And we know that those need to intersect ever more than ever. So if you've got questions about how to vote, go to our website at canage.ca/election21. We also have the full party platform breakdown there, and you can learn more about what Minister Tassi was saying under the Liberal parties, and you can see each of the distinct areas where this government has committed really significant investments in it. Minister Tassi, good luck on Monday. Congratulations for all the wonderful work you do. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you on Election Day. Bye.